Ahoy hoy gang, if this is your first time with us, welcome, and if you're joining us from a previous video, hey, we love to see it, and I hope you're doing well. Here it is, let's go and see, it's time for the part 4 of Happy Berry Bobmas, top 5 episodes of season 4, yay! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! We're doing it, folks, we're doing it! Season 4 is honestly pretty great. Again, just even more perfection. I am a strong proponent of Season 4 being the strongest season Bob's Burgers ever had. So, what worked, what failed, what pecking orders will be curtailed. It's time to look and time to see, so don't be a bore and don't you dare snore while we talk the top 5 episodes of Season 4.
Number 5, the Equestrons.
This one hit a little too close to home, a little too fast. Like I said in my review of the episode, yeah, I had been covering brony culture as media studies, as like a field of, how do fandoms evolve when they're not the target demographics? How does that, impact it? Like the introduction of, fan-made characters like Dr. Hooves or the DJ Pony and whatnot. And so to have an episode that is so aware of brony fandom, brony culture, and just fan culture in general, especially when we see the Vampire Disco episode later on, there is such an awareness that I appreciate. They're not doing this where every single Equestical is viewed as an evil guy. There are people there that just genuinely enjoy the show and want to spend time with Tina because she's a fellow fan. They're not trying to take advantage of her. They're not trying to steal her precious, chariot or anything like that. It's honestly really oddly wholesome and celebrates those weird cultures as just an everyday thing. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that because we can't ignore brony culture, right? We can't ignore, Swifties or these large fandoms because they do have an impact on pop culture that we don't realize. So if we display them effectively, if we display them properly, not only do they feel seen, but we can study their impact on media much better. And by having such an accurate portrayal of them in this episode, it elevates the show as a whole. The jokes are super great. The writing is still incredible. And that last scene where Bob is forcing Tina to play with Chariot is art. It just, the way he melts down at the end is perfect.
Number 4, Christmas in the car.
Remember that time the family had Christmas in a car while they're being hunted down by Bobcat Ghostwipe? No? Remember that time Teddy got his hand caught in the fridge in a Santa trap and thrashed around like a trapped animal? I do. I remember that scene. That's one of my favorite scenes of this whole show. I dare say that is my favorite scene in the whole show, and I will unapologetically use this as an excuse to talk about my favorite scene in this whole show and why Teddy is one of the greatest characters of all time. Welcome to my 3-hour symposium on why Bob needs Teddy, because Teddy is the perfect crazy act opposite Bob. I adore that Teddy is both super smart to help the Belchers whenever they need it, and so gullible, he will believe anything. And so, sure, yeah, the Dutch baby stuff is great and all, and poor Bobcat has to work on Christmas, and that's a whole thing, and that's a fine story. But what sells me on this episode being in my top 5 is when Teddy sticks his arm through that wreath, gets his arm caught, and thrashes around like a trapped animal. It is so fluidly animated. It is so dumb and so random. And again, if he knew it was where, he could easily just cut it or anything. He's a handyman. He's got to have a way out. But nope, that's not how Teddy reacts. He just starts thrashing. And that's beautiful. It's just it's art.
Number 3, Seaplane.
Again, Will Forte is just great. Quippa-Kiss-It Island or Quippa-Kiss-It. I don't care. Quickie Kiss-It Island. But the thing I love the most about this episode is they never use Bob and Linda's relationship being on the rocks as, you know, an inciting incident or anything like that. There's no question that Linda is gonna cheat on Bob or something. It's all, you know, Linda's always, you know, Team Belcher. She is always with her husband 100%, and she's just tired of boring dates. And Bob is willing to hand row him and the kids to an island to fight a pilot and climb out on the wing of a seaplane to save his family. Like, they are awkward, weird people, but you will never question if they love one another. And compared to, like, Family Guy or The Simpsons, you can question it. Even American Dad, some episodes you're like, do they like each other? Now, more often than not, they absolutely do, and that's a part of the episode. But Bob's Burgers, you never get the sense that it's Bob and Linda against each other all the time. There's plenty of times when they get along, and Seaplane is a perfect example of a great Bob and Linda story and just a wonderful episode of Bob's Burgers when the focus is Bob. I love when Bob is the main character of Bob's Burgers. Hot take.
Number 2, My Big Fat Greek Bob.
Oh, look, Bob has to cook at a frat and becomes the main character of the episode. Yes, 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 yes. I love it. I love it so much. And I mean, you've got Hannibal Buress, you've got Dana Snyder, you have Jonathan Katz. Dr. Katz is in the house, and I love that. I adore Jonathan Katz. I think he's really funny, and it was so fun to hear him, just as like the Dean. He only has like 4 lines, and they're delivered perfectly. Ken Jeong as Dr. Yap is also just phenomenal. Like, Ken Jeong has this weird stint where either he's going to be the funniest person on screen or just every other Ken Jeong role imaginable. Like, again, Watch the Goods, Live Hard, Sell Hard. It's great, and Ken Jeong is terrific in it. You know, Ken Jeong is great in Hangover. He's a great actor when he's given the chance to be a great actor. Look at Community. And I think Dr. Yap is a perfect chance for him to show off that he is a great voice actor. He delivers perfectly in that yap, 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 yap. It's what you expect from Ken Jeong, but it is perfectly polished, and he knows what he's doing. And it's just, yeah, Bob helps a bunch of frat bros. That's so endearing and so fun and works for Bob. I can go back to that episode anytime and just love it.
Number 1, Bob and Deliver.
I am a sucker for parents going to the school teaching thing, and the students all love it and want to do a whole, you know, let's all be like the teacher guy. I love that. I love that. Stand and Deliver is a great movie. Bob and Deliver is a wonderful episode of Bob's Burgers that I can't get enough of. I also love that Zeke is the prodigy of the class and not any of the kids. You know, Tina wanting to be the favorite is fine. It's a whatever story. I appreciate that Gene and Louise actually enjoy working at the kid restaurant instead of, you know, absolutely dreading it because they have a restaurant at home. Also, again, you got the Michael Mowerman bits, which I talked about in the review, but it's just, scoot over, Bob. Come on, be cool about this. I'm pushing you out. That's great. That's wonderful. That's everything I need out of this. Like, I'm a fan. I am a fan of everything I got here, and Bob and Deliver will always be an episode I revisit fondly. It has everything, and again, it's not Bob versus Linda or anything. Bob is just super passionate, the kids are super encouraging, and it's, you know, the system that's cracking down on Bob. It's a lot like that episode where Hank taught the kids shop. Like, that is fantastic. Give me more of that, please. I just, Bob and Deliver just hit different. Like, okay, so here's my 40-minute discourse on why Jonathan Katz revolutionized animated combat. Oh, hey! Anyway, that's my top 5 episodes of Season 4. Anything you think I was right on? Wrong on? What were your top 5 episodes of the season? Bottom 5? Let me know in the comments below. And if you liked what you saw, consider liking, subscribing, and telling your friends. We're out here. Season 4 is just, yeah, everything I could ever want in a season, including Teddy thrashing around like a trapped animal. What's not to love? It's so good. Yeah, I don't care if it's weird. It's still one of my favorite animated scenes of anything ever, and the rest of the season is even better than that. Like, season 4 had so many good episodes that I didn't put the 2-parter because I knew I'd just ramble for too long, but it's absolutely an honorary mention. It's just, good season. Real good season. Anyway, that's going to do it for us here at the Lecture Hall. And if you want to support the channel, consider joining our Patreon or membership programs today. $2 a month gets you special polls, posts, and even your name on this fancy list. Yes, look at it. Look at the names of these champions. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Remember to stay strong. Keep fighting that good fight. Remember, it's okay to not be okay, and the holidays can be hard on a lot of people. You're doing great, and I believe in you. That being said, we still got a ton of Merry Bobmas to go, so thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.